Hello, everyone. This is Trevor coming to you from Man Up to Cancer Global Headquarters in Cape Elizabeth, Maine. It is now, gosh, what's the date? Wow, I'm recording this on June 5th, 2026. Last week has been kind of a fever dream. I I went to the ASCO conference. So this is the American Society for Clinical Oncology. It's the largest cancer conference in the world. Uh, it used to be pretty much mostly doctors, researchers, scientists. It was all about the science of cancer. But in recent years, the patients have demanded a seat at the table. So the patients have infiltrated and we're not going away. So there's tons of nonprofit advocacy groups like Man Up to Cancer, individual patients. So Man Up to Cancer had a table. I think this is the second year we've had a table there. So imagine there's like this nonprofit advocacy corral, and it's part of this massive, like McCormick Place Convention Center, I think is like half the size of my town. Like it is massive. And so part of this is that about maybe like 30 nonprofits get to have this little corral area where people can meet and network. And then people who are attending ASCO come and talk to us. Man Up to Cancer also goes because that's where we meet our industry sponsors. Um, so we have about more than 20 industry sponsors now, and we get FaceTime with them, and we also get to talk to new companies we want to work with. So it is madness. Um, and being someone in treatment on immunotherapy, I'm already fatigued. I have neuropathy in my feet from my past chemo. Um, it's basically like running a marathon when your whole body is going through tons of inflammation already. So when I got home Monday night, the gas tank was like less than E. Like I barely made it into the house, like totally exhausted, but also on such a high. Um, and then I had to go into treatment the next day. So it's like, oh, you just ran this marathon while already like impaired. Now let's do hill sprints. But it's so worth it, right? The cost is so worth it because you get to meet incredible people. In fact, one of the people I met in person out there is with us today. So I'm going to introduce him in a second, but super exhausted, but also super motivated to keep doing this work, inspired by these other organizations and leaders. So motivated more than ever to KFG. So keep effing going. Since this is Kesem, I'll keep this one a little bit PG rated.
Me too.
So, again, one of the coolest things about this job as a podcast host is that I get to shine the light on other nonprofits in the cancer space, the incredible work being done by their leaders and volunteers. Today, the spotlight is on Kesem. You'll learn what that name means in a few minutes. Founded in 2000, Kesem is a leading national nonprofit supporting children facing a parent's cancer, providing year-round programs and services for children ages 6 to 18. Is that still accurate, Jay? Give me a nod. Yep.
That is right.
At no cost to families. Their flagship program, Camp Kesem, provides free week-long summer camp experiences for children whose parents are facing, have survived, or have died from cancer. Camps are led by trained college student volunteers. So our youngest daughter, Elsie, attended camp in 2023. She was an older camper. She was 15 by that time, but the experience had a profound impact on her. Um, her camp name, by the way, was Ivy. She says it's from a Taylor Swift song. So it is an honor to welcome Kesem's CEO, Jay Stilwell, and someone who attended camp and went on to be a college camp counselor and who now is a champion for Kesem, Sanford. Jay and Ku, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very
Thank you for
much.
having
Yeah,
us.
awesome. They're coming in from the West Coast. I'm out here on the East Coast. Ku's in LA. Jay's in San Francisco. So thank you to the virtual setting here. So, Jay, let's start with you. Set the stage for us. For those who might be learning about Kesem for the first time, give us the overview of the organization's mission and programs.
We exist to be a child's friend through and beyond their parents' cancer. So as you mentioned, we serve kids 6 to 18, and we provide something that is really essential, which is a community. Um, Community so that the children can feel safe, loved, and respected, and um, part of something that is going on not just for themselves, but among many, many other children.
That, yeah, absolutely. So as elevator speeches go or pitches go, that is way less than a minute and totally spot on. I know exactly what you do right away. And I read online that maybe these numbers are old, but it says that you have more than 115 college chapters to lead camps and year-round services and more than 4,700 volunteer college students. Is that accurate?
Roughly, yeah, we have over 115 college chapters. So we
Incredible.
exist as a collection of college chapters all over the country. We're in 41 states. And yeah, we have over 5,000 volunteers who are mostly in college,
That's
and
wild.
they are the heartbeat of the organization. They make it happen.
So people know about, I think some people, if people know about Kesem, sometimes they know about camp, right? But
Yeah.
so that's the flagship program. Uh, Tell us, but there are other programs now as well, and you're kind of expanding. Can you talk about the
Yeah.
universe of Kesem as it exists right now, kind of 26 years into the lifetime?
Yeah. Actually, this summer is our 25th summer of
Oh,
Camp
awesome.
Kesem. So it's happening right now. And that is, as you mentioned, that's our flagship program. That's where we have the vast majority of kids. But we have found that there are many other ways to connect with a community outside of a sleepaway camp,
Right.
and namely day programs and virtual gatherings. So it's really been helpful to experiment and innovate on the types of gatherings that we can create, where a lot of the magic of Kesem is similar to a sleepaway camp because we have our college volunteers, college student volunteers, putting on a day program and inviting children, same ages, 6 to 18, to a day program, either half day or full day. And it's like a day of fun and games and connection.
Love it.
And we
Love
also
it.
have that, we create that setting also in a virtual environment, so that we can really expand our reach. And a lot of this really is about widening the circle to invite more people. Some people might not be ready for a sleepaway camp, or they might not be interested. And that's fair. Um, and a day program is a really wonderful experience as well.
Yeah, our older daughter was like, "This sounds great, but no thanks." So she'd be someone who would have
Mhm.
participated in the online options, and it's very similar to what Man Up to Cancer does in terms of in-person opportunities and virtual opportunities, and
Right.
to just really keep that community going. Um, Tell me about, uh, well, yeah, tell me about how you came to know Kesem, Jay.
Well, it's very personal for me. Um, I I am a camper parent first and foremost. Um, in 2015, I sent my daughter, who was 7 at the time, to her first Camp Kesem through our UC Berkeley chapter. And she had lost her mom. We had lost her mom a year before when she was 6, right
Mm,
at the beginning of the summer, which was actually about 12 years ago in a couple days. Um, and I had learned about Kesem through a nurse, a palliative care nurse, when we were sort of at the end, had pulled me aside and said, "You need to learn about Kesem." And I said, "Well, what is Kesem?" She said, "Well, it's this amazing camp run by college kids, and they make these kids feel like $1 million. They bring joy to these kids." And what she said immediately next was, "It's not a grief camp. It's a place where they go and have fun."
mm, goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
I thought, okay, this is happening right now. She's 6 years old. I don't think she's going to leave my side right now. So I sort of filed it away. And then someone, when word got out about the change that had happened in my life at work, someone took me out for coffee and said, you need to learn about Kesem. I said, wait, that rings a bell.
Mm.
And
It
I
keeps
started pushing back.
coming back
Yeah.
into your
Yeah,
space, right? Like, hey.
yeah. I started pushing back. I was like, she is really fragile right now. In fact, so am I. And she's only 6, and my friend said, "You know what? Kesem serves ages 6 to 18." And I said, "Yeah, but she's never going to leave my side." And and besides, I was a college student once. I actually was a camp counselor once, and I don't know that I'm ready to send her off just to be with these kids. And then my friend smiled and she said, I founded Kesem. And but this strange coincidence, I happened to cross paths professionally with the founder, Iris Wedeking of Kesem. After she had launched Kesem and worked there and led it for a number of years, she changed her career. She's still on the board of Kesem. Um, and our professional paths crossed. I'm so glad they did, because I realized if Kesem was founded by someone like you, and I knew what a amazing person Iris is, um, then of course I'd be willing to send my daughter. So that next summer is when we tried it out.
So I want to circle on that about Iris and also about your daughter's experience and your experience later on, but we can't
Okay.
we can't neglect our other rock star here, Koo Sanford. I mean, amazing to have you. So tell us about you. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and how Kesem came into your life.
Yeah, so it's so funny that when you share that story, I'm already like
Oh,
tearing up in like joy and happiness and like sadness at the same time.
hmm.
Um, I grew up in Palo Alto, California. I'm from Hawaii, but I grew up in Palo Alto, and my mom got breast cancer when I was about, I believe, 1.5 to
Oh,
like
wow.
3. Like there was during that time, and my mom was just like the life of the party, right? She loved life. She loved her friends. She loved the people in her life. And it's it's really interesting because she was very like, you could go do anything. You could do, and so I was a very like free child that would go out. But when it came to having cancer and like she just didn't know what to do with me, right? She
Right.
wanted to make sure that I was good. And so it's really interesting because we lived in Palo Alto. I had been going to something that was like it was called Kids Helping Kids, something like kind of similar, and they had told us about Kesem and that it was about to start, and so it hadn't necessarily started yet. And when I was 6 years old, 6, 7, I my mom was like, I'm going to send you this place called Kesem. She kind of tried to walk me through it. I was like, no, I'm not leaving you. I don't want to do that. Like, I think deep down, I was a little scared to do that. And at the time, it was only about 3 days. Um, and she just, kept kind of pushing me to do it. And I remember her story is that uh, I didn't want to go. We got there and she like turned around to get something in the car and she turned back and I had already made like 3 friends and I was gone. Like it was over. She was like, okay. And I was like, bye, like, see you later. And that to me, like, is literally what Kesem is in every sense is like you just walk into this magical place of people who understand you, people who are smiling even though hard things are happening. Um,
Hmm.
and like you said, joy is was such a foundation in my life and my mom's life and my dad's life. And so to find a place like Kesem where I got to meet other people who also could find joy in hard times was one of the greatest things, I could have ever been a part of.
Incredible. And remind us again, how old were you when you walked into that first camp?
So I believe for years I thought I
Ish.
was 6, but I think I was 7. Yeah.
Okay, so you were
So
right around the
I
age
went for
of Jay's
10,
daughter. Yeah.
yeah, and I went for 10 years. So I went every single summer until I was 16. So,
Wow. Yeah. Tell us more about that. I mean, and so you probably had lasting like relationships with people who couldn't wait to get back to camp with you in the summer, right?
oh my gosh. I mean, it was like Kesem was our world, and then outside of Kesem was like the real world was Kesem, and then you wait a year to get back to the real world. That's like how we kind of saw it. Um, and yeah, so I actually my second year, I met my best friend Katie, and she was a year younger at the time, and we just became instant friends. And to this day, she's my best friend. She's the one person that like we text each other every single time. It's our both of our moms passed away during the same time,
Yep.
within like a year of each
Mm.
other. And I was 10, she was 9 when her mom passed away. And so, like, we text each other to this day, like their birthdays. On Mother's Day, we'll just be like, our mamas are looking down, like they're so proud of us, and we continue to have this amazing support system for each other. And then at the same time, like on days that we are just, it's rough and like, some days you're just like, I wish I could talk to my mom. I wish, and I'll call her. And somehow every conversation ends with us laughing. We are always finding joy in these moments that like we actually talked about it recently. We were like, we think that really came from Kesem, like giving us a space to cry and then find the fun and the silliness in all these moments that are
Mm.
like, we can get through it. And that's really what Kesem was for us.
So beautiful. Yeah, so take us in camp a little more. I think maybe some people might assume, a camp with kids who have a parent going through cancer, that it might be, like you said, like kind of grief camp, or that it's all cancer talk, or like, oh gosh, I don't want to go and talk about all these things. But all of that is kind of choose your own adventure, right? And optional. Like, what is camp really like?
Oh my gosh. Camp, again, magical is really the word that comes to me, but it's because they set the whole week is like literal just fun. Like it's set up for every single thing to be fun. And it's also very customized in a way. Like I know we had like arts and crafts and sports, and like you could kind of find a space wherever you were. Um, and the cool part about it was that there's a lot of themes. Like I remember some of our favorite one was like Harry Potter week, where
Yes.
like we all the games were themed as Harry Potter. So like
Oh,
Kesem would be the same maybe types of games, but then it would be exactly themed to whatever that week was. There was a Dr. Seuss week, so we had like they were doing riddles and like all these things when it came to games. And so one, the creativity around it is very magical at the same time, which a lot of work goes into that. But as a camper, you just don't know. You're just like, this is just here. It happened. When really there's like these college students working year round to make this magical for these kids. Um, and and with that, there's so much fun in it that there are moments where like cabin chats, we that's where you kind of get to go around and talk, have real talk at the end of the day. And it's like you get an hour to be very vulnerable. There's a lot of crying that happens in cabin chat, there's a lot of laughter that happens in cabin chat. But those are moments where people get to come together, and I think having both of those in the space is what makes it very cohesive while when getting through these like emotions, right? That's what helped us learn you can cry, and then you can literally start laughing and 20 minutes later and be good, and it not feel fake. I think a lot of people are like, oh well, it's just going to be like you're just trying to be happy. No, like you're creating spaces with people who make you feel seen and heard and cared about, and so it's you're able to do both.
and nothing's mandatory, right? So if a child wants to go and
Yes,
really like share with others and have that reciprocal sharing about the cancer and the grief and the emotions and the all whatever that person is holding in their hearts, that's available. But if a child wants to go and maybe not do that level or not even talk about what's happening at home, that's also a choice, right?
absolutely. And the counselors are so amazing when it comes to that, because they really will sit and understand what is this like camper need. I remember one of our friends didn't like sports and she just loved arts and crafts. And like there's different sections that you're supposed to go to, but like they would make sure that she always had friendship bracelet stuff that she could work on instead of playing sports. And there was no pressure around it. And then at the end of the day, like people would come and be like, I want to do some of that with you. So it was very much like giving like campers what they need in that moment,
Love it.
while also allowing them to, step out of their comfort zone and really like try new things as well.
Jay, I won't keep people blah blah. I won't keep people in suspense longer. Tell us what the word kesem means.
Well, Kesem means magic. It is a Hebrew word. that means magic, and magic is exactly what happens when the kids gather, when they're surrounded by other kids and these incredible college students, and you don't have to explain why you're there. Everyone understands we're all in the same boat here. And when it is time to connect and have fun, and you get an opportunity to be a kid, you
Mm.
it's magic intellectually, but you also feel it. Getting to go to camp is the highlight of my summer because I I just feel it in the air when you see this happening.
Yeah, it's really cool because we have the Man Up to Cancer Magic, which is our kind of gathering of wolves retreat that everyone looks forward to every year, and it's the same thing. Like we're already feel it's in September, and there's already like that feeling leading up to it, and then you get there and like,
Yeah.
especially after COVID, like those in person, we're all craving those in person connections and those authentic moments. So it's really special. We're building the magic just in different populations, right?
Yeah.
And just before anyone, so there's no confusion. Kesem is a non-religious, non-faith affiliated organization. Kesem welcomes and supports children and families of all backgrounds, regardless of religion, culture, or identity. And I know that's very important to you, Jay.
It is. It is. There's in fact nothing nothing religious about it. It is about having fun and making connection.
So I didn't get your camp. So the camp name thing, has that always been part of this? Koo, did you have a camp name?
Okay, so when we were at camp, so we started at the Sanford camp, and we didn't actually have camp names when I was growing up. But then when I went to University of Oregon and I was a counselor there,
Yep.
um, my camp name turned to Kit Kat. And then my best friend's camp name, she goes by Snickers. So it was like Snickers and Kit Kat,
Beautiful.
which was like our thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm glad you finally got your name. I mean, name's important.
Yeah.
We'll get
Yeah.
into Jay's name maybe in a little bit, which I need an explanation on. But Koo, let me ask you this. So when your mom was going through cancer, um, how old were you when she passed?
So my mom, I mean, I was 10 when my mom passed.
So what do you remember, or what memories do you have about how that experience affected you as a child, especially in ways that maybe the adults around you couldn't fully grasp?
Yeah. So it's really interesting because, like I mentioned, my mom was like the life of the party. She just always was in a great mood. She always wanted me to just feel so loved and supported. And so there's a lot of, when I grew up, there was a lot of not remembering moments of my mom in pain or sad. And it's crazy because I remember as a kid, there was one time where I just heard my mom in her room. She had like closed her door. She never closed her door. And I just heard her crying. Oh my God, it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, that's
I heard
okay
her
here. That's
crying
okay.
because, yeah, it was, and it was so crazy to me because I think it was when I was probably like 8 or 9. I was a little older and I could understand like she was going through something, but I didn't fully get what it was, and the pain that she was really going through. And I just remember like sitting at the door. Like I didn't try and knock on it. I didn't try and I just like allowed her this space. And I kid you not, I learned that from Kesem because there was so many different people that were going through different things that you had to learn how to like allow people to move through things that they're themselves. And I just remember when she came out, I was like a very like hyper child, I feel like. So when she came out, I was just like calm. I was trying to match her energy. It was like I had learned this new sense of giving support that I probably wouldn't have learned as a child, really, um, without being in a space that kind of gave us that ability. Um, but yeah, I think there was, you know, but to be honest, the thing I remember the most about growing up is that my mom made every moment count. And and I think she definitely leaned on her friends when I was a kid. Like that was
Mm,
really interesting to me because I didn't actually learn a lot about that until later in my life. And now I'm closer to my mom's friends because I'm older and they love talking about her. And she would come to them for support. She would have, and there was so many friends of hers who were parents of Kesem, right?
Yeah.
Like that was where she was able to say like, wow, we are going through the same thing. Like there was people who, were showing up for her when she was in the hospital or by her bedside while I was at school. And so like for me to be able to hear those conversations, um, and most of them just say like, you were her world and she wanted nothing more than for you to feel loved and supported and happy. And that Kesem was by far the best decision that she
Yep.
ever made for us and our
Mm.
family. But at the end of the day, like it was very much her making sure that I had a support system no matter what happened. And, I couldn't be more grateful because that's exactly what she gave me.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, if only every child could have that. But I wonder, so outside of your mom, do you remember
Yeah.
having to hold feelings or thoughts or other things kind of as a container inside yourself because you didn't feel understood by others around you? Like when you weren't at camp?
Yes. I think when I was really young, leaving camp was like a disaster. I was like, I can't live in this world without Kesem, right? Because there was so much support, and then there was like, nobody gets it.
Hmm.
And there was this quick shift. And I think over time, because I obviously got to go and I knew that Kesem was a consistent thing, I was always like, I have Kesem, I have Kesem, I have Kesem. So
Right.
even in moments that I was like, okay, I can't talk to anybody. And then again, I was lucky enough to meet my best friend. So when it did come to the other real world, um, I did have her to reach out to. And there was actually a lot of us that kind of like we all went to camp, like our core, like when we first started, we all went to camp until it ended. If you weren't at camp, like we were calling like parents, we were like, no, 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 they need to come, like cancel everything. Kesem is happening. Um, but like it was definitely, yeah. I mean, of course there were times where like people at school didn't understand, but Kesem also gave me the ability to talk about my grief and feel more comfortable to do it and learn that other people might have more in common with you than you actually think or that you know.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
so because I was able to do that and I learned that, and I really believe that's a skill, I was able to actually meet more people. And then, Kesem comes up and they're like, oh my gosh, I know this person that could benefit from this. And like you become kind of a champion for something that's changed your life, without even knowing, right? And you're just talking about it because you're like, what would I do without this? I think everybody should have it.
Wow, I am blown away by how articulate and eloquent you are about speaking of this experiences. I mean, man, so I'm so glad we have you here. So Jay, you have a camp name as well. Let's tell everyone what your camp name is
I
and how
do.
it
I
came to be.
do. My Kesem name is Country Ham. Yes,
Country
that
Ham.
is what I go by. Country Ham. And yes, I live in San Francisco. I've been here for 25 years, but I am from South Carolina. And I like to remind people that while I'm in the big city, I'm still a little bit country. I
You have
also
that accent.
love Southern food, and I miss it because we don't get it here. And country ham is classic.
So who gets a name then? Like, was this a parent thing or a board member thing or a CEO thing? Like, when did you get this name?
Good question. Anyone is welcome in our community, and at any point, you may have a name. You can choose a name, or you can ask for help choosing a name. One of the fun things uh, is getting help choosing the name because get really excited about being creative with the names. So I actually did have a couple other names that I retired, but I'll say that Country Ham is my destination
All
custom
right.
name.
Yeah, we don't need to go back and explore those. Maybe they're ones you
No,
don't love. So this is a great, what Koo was talking about with her development. I'll ask you the same sort of as you and your daughter. What's your daughter's name? Oh,
so
sorry.
again from the South, her name is Sarah Bond.
Okay. So as
Okay, which is a double name. Sarah Bond is her
as
first name.
you and Sarah Bond were continuing to stay involved with Kesem, she was a camper. What changes did you see in her, and how did that feel as her dad?
Well, I always remember that first summer where she was absolutely refusing to go.
Right, right.
She was just terrified of, there was a lot of fear about leaving my side. Even throughout the year, going to sleepovers was hard, being away from me because she was obviously afraid of losing me as well. And one of the great services that Kesem offers is we call Kesem by your side. And I called up the chapter and I said, listen, she doesn't want to come, doesn't want to go to camp. And they said, all right, we're going to come to her.
Oh,
And two counselors
ooh,
came to our apartment in San Francisco and took her out to the playground and then for ice cream. And
whoa.
they showed her what Kesem is. And she came back with this beaming smile, and she was all in. And that's the commitment that these 5,000 college kids are ready and happy to make. So that
Yeah,
was the
I'm
beginning
looking at Koo
of the
here. We're all like,
relationship. I know.
yeah. Oh, um,
Yeah.
and then over
I
the
will say,
years, yeah, go ahead, Koo.
I was just gonna say that also just reminded me the thing that they did for us when we were growing up. I don't know if they still do it because there's so many people, but I would get a birthday card from the Kesem counselors that were in my unit every birthday. And it was the most thoughtful thing. And you're just like, you felt so seen and like a part of something. And so when Jay told me his story with that, I was like, that is amazing. Like to show up, that's what they do. They show up, and that's
Incredible.
anything you could ask for. Yeah.
They will also show up at at a piano recital
Yes.
if dad's
Totally.
in treatment or at a memorial service.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
is very, very impactful and important.
And has your daughter continued to go to camp and then start getting engaged in the year-round programs, Jay?
She has. She has. She This summer will be her last as a camper. It'll be summer number 11, similar
You
to
might have
Q.
some tears at that moment, I think.
There are
Oh.
tears every summer. For me, it's tears when I drop her off, and then for her, it's when I pick her up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Um,
right.
Yes.
yeah. Um, but yeah, she has gone back every single summer, and we plan our summer schedule around
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kesem,
Yeah.
around that sort of sacred time. And I'm so happy that it is. I'm very happy to adjust the schedule around that because it's been so important to her. And yes, she participates, when we can in the day programs. We have friends and family days at each of our chapters, and in the spring and the fall, and those are just wonderful. And then, of course, during COVID, she was in the online version.
Right. Wow, right. I mean, oh, what a fever dream that was. So
Yes.
glad to be
Yeah.
back in person together, right? So, Jay, this next question is going to be really unfair to you, but I'm going to pose it to you anyways. You were a camp dad. You got involved in the organization, I think, and then at the board level, and now you've become CEO. Can you give us the kind of the cliff notes on how that progressed for you in terms of your engagement to the point where
Sure.
you're now at the head of the organization?
Right. Yes, I started, as a camper parent, and I saw the extraordinary change that happened when she stepped off the bus at the end of the first week. And it was just a lightness and
Mm,
so cancer and all of the stress and grief can really steal color from your kid's life. And Kesem is very colorful, and I saw that color come back.
mm,
And so I mentioned that I had met our founder, Iris Wedeking, and Iris invited me to join the national board. And I was so happy to do that because I saw personally through the eyes of, myself as a parent and then through my daughter. And ever since I became involved with the board, it's an incredible group of people serving a mission that's very deeply personal for every person on the board. And I found my own community. And that really helped me get through solo parenting and all of the not knowing what to do. And and
You,
I'd
you,
call it the
you didn't get the
fog.
you didn't get the guidebook on that. It didn't show up in your mailbox. No, okay.
It did not. And I was so grateful to have this community. And I felt at home there, but importantly, I also felt like we were doing a really important job because our focus was on serving more kids.
Yeah,
And because there are 5 million kids between 6 and 18 in the US who's, had or had a parent with cancer. And so we're just scratching the surface here. We'll serve 11,000, over 11,000 this year, and we have so
Wow.
much more to do. But that kept me on the board is ambition for Kesem. That is also what made me make the jump. So for the end of my board service, I was the board chair for a couple of years. And when the opportunity came up, uh, when our prior leader told me that it was time after 7 years of being at Kesem and giving it all of her energy and passion, that it was time for her next career step. I had a eureka moment. That next day, I was putting on my socks. And I wish it were a better activity that was happening, but literally putting on my socks, the light bulb went off, and I said, "I this would be an incredible honor and privilege to step into this role." And it was a career change and a big leap of faith for me, and for the organization, I'll add. Uh, but it was hands down the best decision that I've made. A year and a half later, I'm in this. I'm feeling like I'm growing every day, but I just feel like fulfilled because I know the difference that I make. I meet people like Ku. I hear testimonials from parents saying exactly these things. Like, I know my kid will be okay no matter what happens to me. I hear this every day, and I know that we're making an incredible difference.
Oh man, I mean, to have a excuse me, to have a CEO that brings the skill set to be able to do the job, but also right has lived it is like you have that superpower. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Um, I do have a couple more questions. We're getting towards the end of our interview here. I do have a couple more questions, but the gauntlet of random questions is coming. I didn't even give them a heads up, guys. So to those who are listening to the show, you know that I do the gauntlet of random questions for every guest. Well, this is no exception, so it's coming. But so to finish
Excited.
up with a couple more questions, so Ku, it's kind of looking back as an adult. How old are you now?
I'm 32.
Okay, so as a 32-year-old, looking back now, how do you think Kesem impacted not just how you coped at that time, but who you are now and who you eventually became, and sort of what's happening in your life now, and how does that maybe connect with what happened when you were a kid and making great strides through this org?
Yeah, honestly, I know I keep saying this over and over again, but I think what Kesem provided me was the awareness that you can find happiness and joy through tough times, and that you can also create that for yourself and create that for other people.
Hmm.
And so I think throughout every different career path that I've had in my life, that's something that people always recognize in me. They're like, wow, you just like, this was such a crazy thing and you just seem totally good. And it's not always that I'm good, it's that I understand that there is things to be so grateful for. Like even the fact that I lost my mom when I was 10 and people are always like, wow, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, the fact that I had my mom for 10 years of my life when she was actually really sick when I was 3 and they said that she would pass away when I
Hmm.
was 3, like there were so many things to be grateful for. And then through that I also think Kesem provided confidence, right? This sense of being able to go out to a random camp that you've never been to before, and that true fear that I was very afraid that my mom was going to pass away when I was at camp. That was like the scariest thing that could have happened. But then also knowing like I'm at Kesem. If anything were to happen, this would be the place. So finding this confidence in myself and through the people that I surround myself with has, you know, catapulted me in almost every career that I've had and been in. So yeah,
Yeah. So I mean,
that would probably be it.
mic drop right there. Thank you for that. I mean, I think at this point, I just want to give a shout out to. I mean, you're like my daughters in the future. Um,
Oh, that's so sweet.
Sage was 12 and Elsie was 10 when I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And I've been
Mm,
living with it for 8 years without any break from the trenches. So surgery after surgery, chemo after chemo, now immunotherapy, like all the stuff.
yeah,
And to see their and I see the burden, right? I see the burden on them, like to have a dad be going through this life-threatening disease for a long period of time.
yeah,
But I also see the resilience and the gratitude and the shift in priorities where like so they're going to be
yeah.
19 and 21 this summer and the things that bother their friends it doesn't really bother them too much, right?
Right.
So I just want to say, because they'll probably listen to this, is that I'm just so proud of you, Sage and Elsie, for persevering and loving. Like our family has gotten a lot closer through this, and um, kids are amazing. It's amazing what they're able to do, and I had to swallow my pride and sort of when I learned that my kids could and should actually help, like be a support to me and inspire me.
Yes,
That was a big
absolutely.
moment for me. So I couldn't be more proud of those kids, and I'm so watch as they grow up, and they're both in college now, and watching what they do, it is so awesome, and I'm one of the lucky ones. So just wanted to say that.
Love that.
So Jay, now that you've seen Kesem as a parent, and as the leader of the organization, any thoughts on what should a parent listening right now maybe understand about what his kids might be carrying?
I think that all kids will be carrying something different, and it'll be unique to them and to their situation and your situation. But common things that you should expect would be a story of what is happening.
Mm,
And that story may or may not be grounded in truth, and it may have it likely does have a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. Um, and then common things that we see in kids in this boat is isolation. They don't know other people in their boat,
yeah.
who are going through this, and that can be isolating. It can feel that way. They sometimes withdraw socially or from activities like sports or school. um, there is a lot of fear, and of uncertainty can really drive you mad. And there's fear of what might happen and all of the things, but there's also their role in it, that is part of the story. And depending on the age and stage of the kid, is this because of me? Or magical thinking, if I do this, can I fix it? There
Oof.
is a lot that just is the nature of their brains at that time. And so, the importance of communication can't be overstated.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
That was really great. And your counselors are trained on these things that might be swirling inside that might not be coming out.
right,
Yeah.
right. They are there to um, help give kids space to say what's on their mind, so that they can go back and so that they can just be more comfortable expressing what's on their mind. Um,
And that can be
that is very important.
that can be such a relief valve. It's all bottled up in some of these
Yeah.
kids and to be able to have a safe place to put it. Um,
Yeah.
and I guess so if a parent or guardian or grandparent or someone's listening to this show and they want to learn more or get their child involved, what's the next step for them, Jay?
Well, there is camps are happening all over the country right now, and there is plenty of time to sign up and register uh, your kid. And just go to kesem.org, KESEM.org, and there's a very easy way to find out where the programs are near you.
And if people have questions, there's a contact information on the website to get in touch.
Yes, and we are we have a big reach, but we are a small organization, and we are happy to take calls, and you will reach a human if you need it.
Oh, I love that.
It's the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you for that. All right. Anything else before we get into the gauntlet that comes up during this conversation, or we've covered a lot of the terrain for either of
Can
you?
I say
No.
Yeah,
one
you're
more thing? No,
yeah.
Jay, go for it.
You both
All
get
right,
a
I'll say
turn.
one thing. I'll take a turn, and then you take a turn. And this is something I was reflecting on when Ku was talking, and as my experience as a parent, one of the things I really, really wanted to do was help my kid not experience pain. And I realized I that was impossible, that no one is going to keep this child from grieving and from experiencing all of the hardships around losing a parent. Um, and what is there though is a community and support to know that they're not carrying it alone. And knowing that, like bringing joy to a kid for a while is such an incredible antidote to grief and uncertainty, and all of the fears that might be going on inside your kid's head. But it's also for me seeing that, knowing that they're not alone, what really gave me hope that yes, there would be pain and there would be grief, but she will come out of it and she will not be alone and she will be able to handle it.
Beautiful. I'm glad you added that. And Ku, go ahead.
I was just gonna say really quickly, the other thing that was really impactful about Kesem for me was having counselors that were older than me and in college, and like that was kind of the thing that people want you to do. They want you to go to college, they want you to do all these things. I at the time did not want to go to college. I felt like my life was hard enough. My mom was sick, like all these things. So I never really pictured that. And I just remember I looked up to these like Stanford students, right? Who were just so amazing on a whole other level. And they just having that dynamic was like, wow, maybe I can do this. Maybe I want to do this. Like, if they get to create something this cool, maybe I can do that. And I thought, just by the fact that, like, one, you get to be around your peers, but then also having this level of like students who are here because they want to be, not because somebody paid them to, not because somebody is telling them they have to be. They're there because they want to support you, um, was very, very life changing for me. One of my Kesem counselors was actually the person to tell me, he was like, where are you applying to? I was like, I'm not really applying anywhere. Like, I applied to like 2 spots, and he was like, where do you want to go? And I was like, well, I want to go to Oregon, University of Oregon. But somebody told me, my college counselor actually told me I shouldn't apply because I wouldn't get in.
Oh,
And
jeez.
he said, he
Oh,
literally told me, you should apply. You could do it. And I ended up applying and I ended up getting in. And that's where I graduated from college. So, again, that's to say, like, it's also that the dynamic of having those people to look up to um, was as well just as life changing for
yeah.
me.
I'm tracking down your former counselor and sending this episode to them. So,
Oh yeah, his name's Jarrell. I'll
no,
send
no,
it to
no.
him. I'm friends with him on LinkedIn.
Oh,
I
okay,
have his
good. Okay,
number.
okay.
Like, yes, he's amazing. He's changing the world
He
too.
knows
I mean, he
now.
went to
All right.
Stanford.
All
Oh
right.
no, he knows. The day that I got into Oregon, I texted him. I said, "You're the reason."
Oh, okay. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I was talking about the person who told you that you weren't going to get in.
Oh.
Like we
Oh
won't
yeah,
name
no,
that
we don't need
person,
to talk
but
about her. Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll send them, a box of gifts
Yeah.
with this episode. All
Right.
right, it is time. It's time for the gauntlet. It is the gauntlet of random questions, people. Number one, let's go to Ku first. If you had to wear one Halloween costume every day for the rest of your life, what would you be? Jay, this is coming to you too,
Oh
so you better think about
my
it.
gosh. A Halloween costume.
Yeah, take your
Halloween is
time.
like I'm like the worst at Halloween costumes. I'm not creative enough. I would choose. Okay, well, I'll be honest. I've never gotten to be Sailor Moon, and that's the person I wanted to be since I was like 6, and I've still never done it. So if that could happen, I could do it for the
Sailor
rest of
Moon,
my life.
everybody.
There we go.
Sailor Moon, I love that. That's perfect. Coming full circle. All right, Jay, what are you thinking of?
Well,
Oh,
when you work at Kesem,
he was
you happen to
prepared.
have things handy. Your listeners won't be able to see it, but I happen to be wearing a pig
It is a pig
hat.
hat.
Yes, and it comes with I have a Western buckle with a big pig on that
Oh, I
buckle. So
mean,
the country
he
ham is,
Jay's already
of
equipped.
course, going to
Country
be
Ham is
my
showing up.
answer.
Love it. Yeah. If you're listening
Prepared.
on audio, he's got go check out the video version on YouTube because he's got a pretty awesome pig hat. All right, number two. Koo, would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music or be forced to sing along to any song you heard?
Considering I'm also a professional dancer, I would choose
Easy. That's a
dancing.
layup.
So yes, 100%. Force me any day.
So yeah, you're wait a minute. So you're like you literally get paid for dancing.
Yes, I started dancing 5, 6 years ago, and now I actually own my own startup, and I create a hiring app for professional dancers so
Oh my
that
God.
music labels, all the TV and films can find dancers.
Clearly I didn't do deep enough research to avoid that question with Koo because that was a layup. Not so
That was
much
a
for
layup
Jay.
for me. He had the
Not
ham, I had
not
the layup.
not so much
I
for
mean, I
Jay
had to
though.
be
Right,
fair.
right, right. So Jay, would you be forced to dance every time you hear music or forced to sing along to any song you hear?
This would be really unfair to the people in my presence. But I'm terrible at both. Really, really, really bad. But I want to be good. And I think I'd get more satisfaction being good at dancing. So I think practice makes perfect. That would be it.
Love it.
But I have
We'll do a Kesem
a
dance
long way to
class.
go. Yeah.
All right. All right. And the last question, I'm going way back into the initial. This is the earliest debate, controversy, hot firestorm within Man Up to Cancer. We are about 50-50 on this question in terms of the answer. So I'm going to put it to you guys. Koo, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
So I'm also Hawaiian. So yes.
Well, can't
Pineapple
assume
on
anything.
anything.
I,
True, true.
so you're a
Yes.
yes. I can't assume like there are some people from Hawaii who can't stand it, but you're a
Oh
true
yeah.
believer. Yeah, bring it
I'm
on.
yeah, put all the pineapple.
You know what? I really liked you until this minute. Things just took a turn. They took a
No.
turn for the worse. That's
No,
okay.
maybe you're
You
not
only
you haven't had the right pineapple. Maybe that's where we need to
all
get you
right.
some pineapple from Hawaii.
Okay, so next time I'm out on the West Coast, out in LA, you
We're
can
gonna
you can
make
hook
that
me up.
happen.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I will do that. No, just kidding. You're still way up. There's you didn't lose any points with me. All right, Jay, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Don't say yes just to appease Koo, by the way.
I'm not.
I'll be judging.
You will never find me ordering that. Okay, I'm a no on it.
Ding 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 ding.
And
Winner.
but I will say that it usually comes with ham on it, and so I gotta, I do respect that, especially if it's little country ham.
Oh, that belongs. I mean, that's
Oh,
not a fruit.
that was like a 50-50 answer.
No, 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 no. It's all about the pineapple. It's all about the pineapple. All right, you have made it through the gauntlet of random questions. You have given a fantastic overview of Kesem, and I'm excited to share this. Make sure to check out the show notes, people, for the website, for some other resources about Kesem. And wow, awesome to have you. Thanks so much.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much,
much. This is
Trevor.
amazing.
And we're done. Amazing. You guys crushed it. You can stop your
Yay!
recordings. I'm going to stop on GarageBand. Perfect on time.
Do you
And
mind if I take a quick picture of
oh yeah,
us?
yeah,
If
yeah,
we
yeah.
Oh,
just
totally.
all, me and my little setup. Okay, 1, 2,
Mm.
3. Okay, thanks.
Now my turn.
Love
Now
it.
my turn. Hold on. One, two, three.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So June
Hey,
16th.
you're such an expert at this, Trevor.
Oh, that was my past life.
So good.
Before cancer, I was a newspaper reporter for many years.
Oh, no kidding.
No way.
Yep, daily
That makes
newspapers.
sense.
So I always loved doing profiles and everything else. But the cool thing about podcasting is that when I was a newspaper reporter, I'd have to write everything down or record it and then
Yeah.
do something with it. This is like the product's done. Like that's it. We
Oh,
just did the product,
yeah.
so it's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you
much
guys,
more efficient.
you two were an amazing pair. I'm so glad that Chris and Jay you worked to figure out to get Ku on because
Koo,
it's just
you're
Thank you.
incredible.
yeah, it just
You're
makes such a difference.
incredible.
You are a powerhouse. So cool. So
No, I
yeah.
really like I'm so grateful. This is I don't know if you know this, but this is the first podcast I've ever been on.
What?
So
No way.
I literally was so looking forward to this. And when I say like thank you guys for being flexible and making this work, like I'm beyond grateful.
I am blown away by that. Like you are an absolute natural. I thought you were like someone who's on podcasts and shows all the time because your presence is
Oh,
like perfect for this medium.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
wish.
totally.
One day, one
Okay.
Totally.
day.
Well, now, yeah, here you go. Now you're off and running. So,
Yeah.
please send me. I know Chris knows about this, but I need photos of each of you
Yep.
and a
Yeah.
short, just like a short bio that I can put in the show notes. Nothing but like just even like a short paragraph or whatever.
Okay.
And then June 16th, we will publish. We'll promote it. And also any social handles. If you want me to tag you, I'll tag Kesem, obviously. If there's any other social handles that you want tagged, please make sure to send those along. You both should have my email because Ku, you accepted the invite. So yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Can't do. Oh.
All right, I'm sending you the recording right now.
Yes. And that too. Yeah. So, on your phone, it should give you the little three dots, Ku, to share, your
Yes.
voice memo. Yep.
Got you.
Awesome. Well, have a great
All
rest of your
right,
day. And if you
you
need me
too.
for anything, yeah, I'm here.
Thanks so
Yeah.
much,
Same. If
Trevor.
you ever need
Thanks, Koo.
anything, let me know.
All right.
Thank
All right.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.